Hello students, today we will discuss the topic vehicle specification. So first of all, what is specification? Specification means detailed description of something. So here we are going to describe the vehicle in detail. That is the meaning of specification. So specification means detailed description. So how do we specify vehicles, or how specification of vehicles is done? So we have to consider certain points when we are going to specify these vehicles. So various automobile companies or manufacturers design and develop new type of vehicle models every year. So based on the society needs, the manufacturers are manufacturing vehicles every year. So how do we specify these vehicles? So we have to consider some factors for specifying the vehicles. So what are the factors? So first of all, various automobile manufacturers are designing and developing new types of vehicle models every year. So now, factors to be considered for specifying a vehicle are. So what are the factors? The first one is the type. So what is this type? So type means the actual name of the vehicle, that is the Honda Activa, Suzuki Axis, whether it is a motorcycle, it is a car, it is a bus, it is a truck, or any special purpose vehicle. So here type means different kinds of vehicles which we are using, that is the car, bus, truck, motorcycle, scooter, etc. So the next factor which we are going to consider is the carriage capacity. So whether the vehicle which we are specifying is 3-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, 8-seater, 30-seater, 35-seater, or 54-seater, etc. So based on the number of passengers it can accommodate. So for passenger, it may be 3-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, 8-seater, 30-seater, 35-seater, 50-seater, or 54-seater, etc. Then next, we will consider the make of the vehicle. So make means the manufacturing company or the manufacturing country. So here we will consider manufacturing company or manufacturer or manufacturing country. Then we will see the model. So the year of manufacture or specific code number which is allotted by the manufacturer comes under this model. So for every model of vehicle there will be a code number which will be allotted by the manufacturer. So that factor will be considered here. So year of manufacture or a specific code number allotted by the manufacturer. And one more factor which we consider here is the drive. So as we have already known, the drive is of two types. It is left hand drive and the right hand drive. So left hand drive is mostly, that is, the steering wheel is fixed on the left hand side of the vehicle. Okay, the driver must sit on the left hand side, which is usually used in Europe and US. But in India, we usually have cars or vehicles with the right hand drive. So the steering wheel is fitted on the right side of the vehicle. So here left hand drive used in USA and Europe, and right hand drive used in India, that is, the steering is fitted on left or right. So this is what is the are the factors which we usually consider when we are specifying a vehicle. So example we can take for specification is, if you want to specify a particular student, so what do we consider? First, the type, whether the student is a male or a female. Then we will see capacity, maybe the year in which that person or that student is studying. Then make or manufacture, so here it may be father's name. Then here model, we can consider whether he is the year in which he was born. Then drive, here we can see whether he is left handed or right handed. So this is a simple way in which we are specifying a particular person. Then the commonly used vehicle specifications. So commonly used vehicle specifications are, so that was the detailed specification of a vehicle, but commonly the specifications which we are using is the vehicle manufacturer name and the model number. So vehicle manufacturer name and model number. So here it may be Honda, maybe the manufacturer, and Honda Activa is the name of the vehicle, where Honda is the manufacturer name, and model may be the code which is given by the manufacturer. Then engine specification. So here we will have vehicles with 250 cc. Okay, that is the engine size, 500 cc. Then type of fuel used. So the vehicle, for example, usually cars may be petrol or diesel. Now there is a new variant to it, that is the electric vehicles. And also even hybrid vehicles are also available. Okay, this one we will study in detail later. So here the fuel used may be petrol, diesel, or it may be driven electrically. Then transmission or gearbox specification. Okay, so when we study the details of this gearbox, then we will know what does that actually mean. Then we have the clutch. So clutch type. So there are different types of clutches. So what type of clutch is being used will also help us to identify or specify a particular vehicle. Then the next factor which we are considering when we are specifying a vehicle is braking system specification. So when we get into the details of this transmission, clutch type, braking system, so all these are the construction factors of a vehicle. So generally we are using all these construction factors for the specification of a particular vehicle. Then the steering mechanism. What kind of steering mechanism is used for this particular vehicle? Then we have the wheel and tire specification. So wheels and tire specification. Then the overall length, width and height of the vehicle. Overall length, width and height of the vehicle. So as we have already seen the classification of Indian vehicles, there we are considering the length and the engine size. So here for specifying a particular vehicle, we have to consider its length, height and width also. Then we have wheelbase, wheel track and ground clearance. So wheel base, wheel track and ground clearance. So here type of the wheels or number of wheels used. In that also there will be the wheelbase, then wheel track and the ground clearance we have to consider. Then we have the gross vehicle weight. So weight of the vehicle is also a consideration for specifying a vehicle. Gross weight. Then we have the last factor which we are considering is the number of passenger for passenger vehicles. So here the payload is also a consideration for a particular vehicle. What is a payload? Payload is nothing but it is the maximum amount of weight it can carry safely. So usually payload is considered for commercial vehicles which is carrying commodities from one place to other. So it is the maximum amount of weight a vehicle can carry safely. So usually considered for commercial vehicles. Okay, then I have told you about the wheelbase of a vehicle. So what is the wheelbase? So wheelbase is the distance between the front and the rear axles of the vehicle. So this is the distance between the front and the rear, that is the front tire and the end tire in simple words, that is the last tire. Then we have wheel track. So wheel track means the shortest distance between the center of the tire treads on the same axial. So the shortest distance between the center of the tire treads on the same axial. So if there are two tires, this is the axial between them. So if this is the four tired vehicle, wheelbase is the distance between these two tires or axials. So the shortest distance between these two tires is called as the wheel track. Then we have ground clearance of a vehicle. So ground clearance is the amount of clear space between the lowest part of the vehicle frame and the ground. So usually when you travel by car, if the humps are very high, you can see that it will bump. When you move the car on the hump, it will bump and lower part of the car may touch the ground. So while making a particular vehicle, we have to consider the ground clearance very much. So it is the clear space between the lowest part of the vehicle's frame and the ground. So this is all about the vehicle specification. So it is so easy to use the vehicles, but when you consider the manufacturing of a vehicle or specification of a vehicle, you have seen how many things you have to consider, how many parts you have to consider when you are manufacturing or making a particular vehicle. So I hope you have understood the topic. Thank you.